Birmingham Public Library. So, welcome, Catherine.
Thank you all for having me. I can't see anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and go. So I'm going to talk about the Archives Department at Birmingham Public Library, where we're located, which is a big question, when we are open, what we have in our collections. And this is what I feel is the most crucial. What is the difference between archives, where I work, and Southern history, just one floor above us? And it's real choice information there. So we are located at 2100 Park Place in Birmingham. So we're downtown. There are two library buildings. We are in the research library, the older library building that's off the park, but park entrance has been closed since COVID. So you need to, if you're coming to visit us, you need to park behind the east building, which is the circulating collection, the newer building. I like that it's newer because it was built the year I was born. So park in that parking lot, enter through the doors off the parking lot, and then take the elevator to the third floor. You're not done yet. Cross the skywalk and then take that elevator to the basement. You can also use the stairs if you are feeling energetic. And we are located in the basement of the research library. When are we open? We are currently serving the public by appointments. That doesn't necessarily mean that if you stop by, we won't have a spot open for you, but we do prefer to have a heads up. So just let us know when you're coming. You can do that online, or you can give us a call. I'll give you our phone number in a few moments. So we're Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is the last appointment we'll make. You can stay here until 6, like 5 to 6. And then Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, if you're here at 5, you can stay until just before we close. It's just the last appointment we make. If you absolutely need a Friday appointment, we can accommodate, but we try to save those for putting all that stuff back and doing some projects that we couldn't get through during the week, if possible. On Saturdays, if you come on a Saturday, we are in the Southern History Department, one floor up, because it's just one of us by ourselves. And so we just need that backup. So instead of after you do the crosswalk, you take the elevator to the first floor on that last slide. I assume that you are all well versed in archival etiquette. Just in case you're not, here's some do's and do nots. Do go ahead and call us or email us and make an appointment before you come down. Do make sure that you have visited the website to look at what collections we have and what we don't have. Do bring pencils and paper. We have pencils and we have paper, but just in case. And do be prepared to read and sign our registration form. I recommend you read it before you sign it, but lots of people just like to sign it. Do not bring food or water. Do not bring pens. I'm going to tell you to go put them in a locker or bring them up to me, and then you'll forget them, and then I have all these pens. And do not take photos of the photos. You can take photos of the documents. So what do we have in our collection? Look at all that stuff. So our archives serves as the city repository. So we have government documents from the city, as well as the Episcopal Diocese repository. So we have a lot of Episcopal records, as well as a cultural repository, so records from the community, and an institutional repository, so records from the library that come down to us. So city repository, we're going to talk about one of those collections today. We probably won't get into the Episcopal Diocese, but we have some cultural repository records to talk about. At our last vague count, we have over 30 million documents and approximately 1 million photos, but we haven't counted in a while, so we may have grown from then. Generally, we collect around Jefferson County and the 5 surrounding counties. There are a few subjects that we collect on statewide, such as LGBTQ history and women's issues and the Jewish community and Episcopal Diocese. And just for like what kind of people come into the archives, we have had more than 400 books published using our collections. 5 of those books, I think it might be 6 now, have received the Pulitzer. Documentary films and television series researched here have appeared on most major television networks. In fact, we have one coming out, I believe, in about a week on PBS. I think it's this week. And we haven't received, but the documentaries and films and TV shows have received many awards that have been researched in our library. That's all the bragging. Okay. Now, what's the difference between archives and Southern history? The main difference between Southern history and archives is the difference between a primary and a secondary source. We contain mainly primary sources. Southern history contains mainly secondary sources. So the books that we were just talking about that were researched in our library, we get a copy, we catalog it, and we send it up to Southern history. They also have, they being Southern history, the Southern History Department, has the newspapers, the Birmingham News, Post Herald, all the newspapers that we have in the library that are on film. They're upstairs in Southern history where they have more room for microfilm readers. And then Southern history also contains the majority of the BPL genealogy collections. So we're not really a genealogy collection, but we do have some niche collections that can aid in genealogical research, which is what I'm going to talk to you about. How about that segue? Okay, so the first one I want to talk to you about is the Call Lumber Company. That's the whole collection name. Excuse me. It's just very dry and I need some water. So the Call Lumber Company, there's a whole, the organization's records, but what's most applicable to the genealogy collections, and they haven't been used nearly as much as they should be, in my opinion, are these land records relating to specific tracts, rights of way, and timber rights purchased by the company in those counties that are listed. And the files that run from the 1880s through the 1920s, they contain land grants, deeds, mortgages, court papers, correspondence. And there is an index. So if you are looking for a family member, you can come take a look. And I think we are in the process of putting this index online. We're going to put it online, and then you can look for your family member by name and county. And then it is separate, but there is a published guide to the collection, and this index of landowners is separate, or land records. But here's an example of one of the older land deeds taken from, so it's a deed of the government. This is super fun. The U.S. government taking land from a member of the Creek tribe and reallocating it to Alexander Robinson, and then signed by President Tyler there on the bottom. So that's a fun one. Next, we did some land records. Now we're gonna do property records. I did not edit this properly. The Board of Equalization files. If you've been to Birmingham and you've seen those plaques on the sides of buildings and houses from the Historical Society, then you are sort of familiar with the Board of Equalization files, which are essentially tax appraisal files. They start in the 1930s. They're a way to both appraise and tax the properties and give people jobs. So they still maintain files on each piece of taxable property in the county, and they contain basic information on the structures, if it's brick, what kind of roof it has, how many rooms, if it's, if it's been torn down. Our records for these files start in 38 and go to 76 ish. But they also contain chain of title records. So what they do not contain are interior photos, because if a member or somebody from the government came to your house and said, "Can I take pictures of the inside of your house?" I'm not letting them in. Are you letting them in? I'm not. And then they don't contain, they're not architectural files. They don't have detailed information on the owners, names of the architects, nothing like that. No in-depth floor plans. What you do get is a basic footprint of the structure on the land. If there's two buildings, if you have a garage, you'll have that structure as well. And then what you really have are these deed and mortgage references. So, and exterior photos. So what you can do with the photos and deed and mortgage references, along with the city directories, you can track the chain of title. And if you have one like this, this is the same house over a number, I think it's over about 25 years. See that first photo, I don't know. Can you see my arrow? Hopefully you can. This photo is the first photo. It was a duplex in 1938. There's two doors. By 46, it's a single family home owned by the person that lived in this duplex. And then it continues to stay in their family. And using city directories and Board of Equalization files, you can track the upward mobility of the family and how they progressed and how their home progressed. So those are interesting. Next, we're going to the naturalization records. These are great. It's a collection of over 1,000 naturalization records for Jefferson County. Name of the citizen as well as the family name is cataloged by subject. Everything else is handwritten. So you've just got to find the name and then read the record. It's available online in our digital library, which is great. You don't need a library card for that. You can just go online to bplonline.org and hit digital library, and then search naturalization records. Nope, I went straight to Marks. I think I was going to do a tutorial on that, but I don't think I'm going to. I know I'm going pretty fast, but I'm going to just save some time for questions at the end. So, just bplonline.org. And there's a little box that says digital library, and then you can, I think it's browse collections, and you can search for naturalization records, and they'll come up, and you can search. They are searchable. Okay, so Henry Marks is the last collection that we're going to talk about today. Henry Marks was an historian who taught at University of Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama A&M, and all those other things that I have written down that you can read. So this collection is really interesting because it is a statewide collection, and it contains biographical information on individual Jewish families, individual Jews that lived in Alabama. And the material is filed alphabetically by the person's surname. There is a finding aid, and it is not online, but I can email it to you. And it is currently being digitized, and it should be available in our digital collection by 2023 is what we're saying, maybe mid 2023. It's a lot of small scraps of paper that have lots of information on them. And that takes some time to digitize and create metadata for. We've been using interns for it, and now we are using in-staff, so in-house staff, not in-staff. This is an example of what the Henry Marks collection looks like. So this is the Fanny Fine families. And I'll give you some, let's try this again. I'll give you some information, citation information, census information, all this. I think I just blew through this. I think they asked me to speak for 30 minutes tonight. I went through too quickly. I'm sorry, everyone. So here's how to contact us. This is our email or our website. This is our mainline phone number. There are 4 of us down here. We have 2 professionals, 2 paraprofessionals, and we can all answer your questions. And if we don't know off the top of our head, we will get right back to you or get you in contact with someone who does know the answer. If you don't like talking on the phone, you can ask a librarian, this email here. You can also just go to our website and hit Ask a Librarian. They'll forward it to us. Or you can just email me directly at catherine.oseas@cobpl.org. Okay, that's everything, Carlene. I'm sorry I went too quickly, but if there's anyone that has questions.
It's quite all right. Does anyone have any questions? I know I answered one for you while you were talking, because it was actually about something that we have here. So so anyway, but I answered that one for you. But does anyone have any questions? All right, let's see. Okay, I don't think we have any. So thank you so much, Catherine, for being with us today. Maybe you can come back again sometime. So thank you everyone for joining us today. That was our research rundown for this month. Please join us again in November. We are going to be doing one at noon on November 7th, and it will be with Kristen Barcombe, who will be presenting the hidden gems in World War I collections. So please come and see us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's. I know I did. So everyone have a great day.